guys, welcome back to Bibliophile Reads. I'm Courtney and today you're joining me for the start of my weekly reading vlog. It is Monday at about 7:30 p.m. and I am going to try to tap in each day this week for the weekly reading vlog. I really did try to do this last week. If you watched my reading wrap up that I posted on Monday today, you would know that I tried, but I just wasn't reading a lot last week, and this week I'm really motivated to read a ton and get back on my goal, which is like 3 to 4 books a week. And so I have been picking through some books that I want to read and really engaging in that, and I think jumping on each day will help with accountability. So join me this week as you become my accountability partner. Super excited. I have a package coming tomorrow that I'm so excited about. I did order the boox Color Go 7, I think that's the name of it, and I want to try it out because you can reach, or you can get Kobo and Kindle on it, and it's not necessarily a Kindle device. You guys know how I feel about Kindles. I love them. I just don't love Amazon, and as I said before, I'm too wrapped up into Amazon to completely not use them, but I just kind of want to try something else out and see what it's like. So I'll definitely do an unboxing and review of that and see how it is. But let's talk about what I have been reading. So right now I am on Monday night sprints. I'm not on the sprint, I'm watching. This is Bookish Knitter's sprint. I haven't been on in a while for no reason other than I've been busy on Monday nights, and then like once you stop going once or twice, like, you just totally forget about it. And so hopped on. I really used to love Monday sprints because it was like focus time to get work done, and work being editing or reading or whatever. And I used to get a chunk of reading done because it's like 2 hours or so. And so I am reading with that sprint. I hopped on late. I didn't think about it till like 6:30. So I think they start at 5. So anyway, there's one more sprint and here I am working. I did in the last sprint also update my NetGalley. So I had a ton of NetGalley, not a ton, I had like 20 NetGalley books that I had previously downloaded in like 2022 that had not been addressed. So I just gave feedback for those that I had read so that I can just like clear out and start anew. So yesterday, I was really committed to reading All Better Now by Neal Shusterman. This is the e-arc I have, and this book follows several people who are in sort of a dystopian, post-modern society in which a second wave of pandemic hits. Not too different from what's happening now with all like the norovirus and whatnot, but this is worse than COVID, and there are different symptoms and transitions that happen with this pandemic, and so we're following quite a few people as they navigate this. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. It's kind of a lot of people that are being introduced, and each chapter is from a different perspective, which is fine, but like the perspectives aren't named. It's just like a chapter name, so you don't necessarily know who you're following. So there's like a teen, well, maybe late teen, 19, 20-year-old and her mom who are homeless. You have like a rich CEO entrepreneur guy who was giving, like renting out his father's penthouse as an Airbnb for only $100. So people have this beautiful experience for very cheap. And there is an older, very eccentric lady who has a ton of money who kind of wants to die from the pandemic. So we're following all of those stories and I'm trying to piece it together. This review is not due until, let me see if I can see. It's not due until, okay, February 3rd is the publication date. So I have a couple of weeks that I could take a break on it. I'm at about 18% in, and so I think I'm going to try to pace out 5 to 10% per day so that I can get it done and have a great review for it, but it's not really catching me. The last Neal Shusterman book that I finished was the Scythe series. I really, really enjoyed that, but since then I've tried other Neal Shusterman books. It hasn't hit for me, so we'll see. But last night I was on this like download like binge, I guess. I have Kindle Unlimited, and I am on a no spin January. It's been interesting. I mean, it's kind of hard not to ever spend. I mean, when we say no spend, we mean like not a bunch of purchases from online retailers, because that's my jam. I did sell a chunk of things on Mercari that were sort of cluttering up my living space, like purses, and my Kobo Libra 2 I sold, because the Kobo Libra 2 and the Kobo Libra Color are identical minus the color. So I sold that, just trying to like clear things out. So the books color that I just ordered was from the Mercari money, so I feel like that's like free money. So I'm justifying it that way. Comment down below if you also justify it that way. Anyway, I hopped on to Kindle Unlimited and then also the first reads on Kindle and picked quite a few books up. So the first book I picked up was Sandwich, and I think that book, I'm going to try to remember what they were, otherwise I'll have to come back and tell you, but Sandwich was on Kindle Unlimited. I know that was a very popular book. It's by Catherine Newman, and it's a book about a lady who feels sandwiched between like her adult kids and her parents, I believe, and they're at a Cape Cod house, and I think she kind of time travels maybe a bit into what her life would have been like. I got the book The Artist Starting Over, which is part of First Reads. I got Some Other Time as First Reads, and then I picked up The Family Experiment, this one sounded really cool. It's like a sci-fi where people are like given a child, or they can experiment with a child for a certain amount of time, and then after that time, once the child is to a certain age, they can decide if they want to keep the child or not. So that sounded weird. I did break down and download Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Everybody talks about it. I don't know much about it. All I know is that I'm too old for this book, but I was like, I'm going to download it anyway and see what it's all about. And then a book I just saw was The Path to Loving Him by Megan Quinn. I really like Megan Quinn's writing. This book came out January 7th, and this book is, part of the synopsis I read is that a lady goes on a job interview, doesn't get the job, decides to go to the bar, has a one-night stand, and then we roll from there. That just sounded pretty amazing. So I have lots of options. I also started reading The Author's Guide to Murder last night. I talked about that book in my wrap-up, but basically, a famous author dies. 3 women were staying at his house, American women. This happens in Scotland. And now we're kind of interviewing the women to see like why they were there, what happened, but like in a humorous TMZ way, not like in a we think you did it way. And so I'm excited to check that out. I also decided that I was going to use my Raspberry Kindle to like connect with it, and I'm about to switch it out because the battery just died so quick on it. I'm at 63%, and I think it died like 14% between last night and today, which seems like not bad, but really it shouldn't die down that much. So that is the update for Monday. I will pop back on tomorrow to tell you more of what I read. Hopefully I'm coming back with a finished story. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hopping on to give you an update on what I've been reading. It has been an interesting 24 hours. So I had this presentation today, and I wasn't nervous until I was, and then the presentation kept getting pushed back. Anyway, we ended up having like 10 minutes to present, and that was fine. But I woke up today just fine. After breakfast, my stomach hurt, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just, you know, nerves or whatever. Then it kept hurting, and then I had lunch, kept hurting, so I ended up logging off early today, about 1:30. I worked till 3:30, just a couple hours early, just so that I could rest. And my stomach got better, but I wasn't hungry for a very long time. Had some ginger ale, and then I actually ended up falling asleep. Like, I was laying on the couch after I picked up my youngest from school, and just before my oldest came home off the bus, I was like in and out, and I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm waiting for her to come home. And then as soon as she walked in the door, I was like out. And it was like that in and out type sleep where I was like saying things and trying to be present, but I was totally asleep. So I took like, maybe it was 20-minute nap, and that helped. And then I was able to exercise a little bit today. I really just did 20 minutes on the treadmill because I'm working to do 5 days a week of exercise. and I do Sunday through Thursday. But I knew that if I missed today, I would only get 4 days because Friday is like a no-go workout for me. Like I can't work out on Friday. And so I just did the 20 minutes on the treadmill, and I started feeling a little unsettled in the stomach, so then I got off. But anyway, so all of that to say that my reading was not as good as I wanted it to be, but then I also think it's the book. So last night I picked up, I don't know if I talked about it in the last clip, I picked up The Path to Loving Him by Megan Quinn. Oh yeah, I did, because I was saying how much I love Megan Quinn. This book is good, but it's slow going. It's definitely a romance book. We've got Bauer, and I forgot the guy's name, and they have a one-night stand, and they end up having, well, she gets a job where he works, but they didn't know that at the time, and she happens to rent out an apartment for a house that he landlords. So it's like all of this forced proximity. There's still all of this tension. He actually is guardian of his niece. His sister passed away. The niece is 4. She's so annoying that that's really gonna deter me from the book. I'm trying to hold on, but her parts are very, very annoying. But I'm only about 18% in. Granted, it's like a 460-page book, which never needs to be that serious for a romance. It really doesn't. But then I decided, probably just 30 minutes ago, that I was going to pick up the book Sandwich. I talked about that in my Monday or my wrap-up. This is the book about a family that goes to the sort of Cape Cod area every summer. And we're kind of reflecting with the mom on the times that they've had. It sounds like they have like a 23-year-old or 24-year-old, a 20-year-old, and maybe a preteen. And the oldest son, Jamie, has brought his girlfriend with him. And then you have the middle child, Willa, who is a bit difficult. And then we haven't heard much from the youngest. And then, let's see, the husband's name is Nick. And we're speaking from her point of view, so I can't even remember. But I'm already 19% in, which is always a great sign because it means it's going well and I'm enjoying it. I'm also reading it on my cute little Kindle Basic, which helps me just zip through. But I need to actually like charge all my Kindles. It's like, for whatever reason, they all, because I switched through all of them, I seem to have to charge them all at once. But anyway, this book is already hitting for me because now I don't have kids that old, but I have a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old, and she's kind of talking and reminiscing on like how they used to be when they were younger, and like how some of these, like waking up early with the kids, or some of the walking was like more difficult because they were slow, and now everybody's just kind of doing their own thing, and not in a sad way, but just like in a reflective way, which I like. And then she is, I don't know how old she is in this book, but I'm feeling connected because I'm 41 and she is talking about hot flashes and just like being cranky for no reason. And she was having this argument with her husband, and they're not like in a dire situation arguing. They're just like, they've been married 30 years arguing. And she talks about, they go to a bakery and she's upset because he didn't know what she wanted. And I could just see that conversation happening in my own house, where it's like, well, do you even love me if you don't know what I'm getting from the bakery? We've been together this long and you don't know? My husband and I have been together about 20 years, 21 years this year. And if he didn't know my order for something, I definitely would be perturbed. And then they're in the hot sun having this little silent bicker. And then she gets into a shaded area and she's like, you know what? Never mind, I feel fine. And that's so me. Like 1 second, I'm just like, what? Freaking out. And the next minute, I'm just like, no, it's all good. I feel great. So bless our husbands or our partners who put up with those in and outs, and bless us for doing the same for them. Let's not be patriarchal over here. So, but I am just connecting with the story already, and it's zipping by. It's a shorter book. I think it's like 230 pages, but I think that's exactly what I need. I would like to finish something tonight or tomorrow if possible. And then the Megan Quinn book is a bit longer, so of course that's taking some time. But I also have a couple others that I could pick up. One thing I didn't talk about was that I'm listening on audio to Is She Really Going Out With Him by Sophie Cousins. I had that book from Book of the Month Club and ended up selling it to Half Price Books because I read her other book. What was it? I can't remember what it was, but I did not like it. And I was like, if I don't like this book, oh, The Good Part. I read The Good Part and I was like, I don't like it, so I'm not going to probably enjoy Is She Going Out With Him. But I think the audio really helps. Sophie Cousins is a British writer, and the audio is narrated by a British narrator, and that's fun, and the story is just kind of cute and weird, and so I am enjoying that. I'm trying to see how far I am. I'm listening to it on Spotify Premium. I think I already mentioned that I had, maybe in November, restarted Audible, and then I canceled it automatically in January because I'm not getting that many books. Originally I had done Audible because I wanted more than 15 hours that Spotify Premium gives you, but it really is duplicate because I'm paying, what, $20 for Spotify Premium and then another $16 or $17 for Audible, and it's not necessary. So I will figure out how to listen to more than one audiobook per month if needed. Okay, so this is, I'm on chapter 9, and it looks like I'm about, hang on, let me see how many chapters are in this book. Probably a lot. Okay, there are 35 chapters, so about a quarter of the way through. I do listen at 1.5 speed, so hopefully I can get done with this maybe by the end of the week. I'm kind of listening to it off and on while I work or while I'm driving to pick up or drop off children. So we'll see how that goes. But this should be an interesting rest of the week. Like I said, I have already removed some distractors from my phone. I just want to focus on reading and updating my reading journal and just like being in the reading space again. What else? And then, yeah, that's pretty much all that is happening today. I'm going to hop in the shower and then go back to reading Sandwich because I'm really liking it. And that book is by Catherine Newman. So we shall see how it continues, but I really do like it. All right, see you guys tomorrow. I forgot to say, I'm holding the camera because I was just about to pack it up. My boox Go Color 7 comes tomorrow. It was supposed to come today, but I don't know if anyone else has this. I have been having issues with Amazon. We do have in-garage drop-off because I'm pretty sure an Amazon truck ran to my garage and I had to replace my garage door, which was not inexpensive. And so we said just do in-garage drop off so they don't have to drive up to the garage and just open the garage. And then I made a note to have them not park in my driveway. But anyway, I said I wanted it, well, it said it was gonna come on Tuesday, just regular drop off, and then it switched to in-garage delivery. And so it's done that a few times, but I haven't selected it. And I think it's like Amazon's way of getting an extra day to get it shipped out. If everything's gonna take 2 to 3 days, like let's just change the claim on the shipping, because clearly it's taking 2 to 3 days for everything to come out. Nothing's really coming next day anymore. So just putting that out there. Very first world problem. But I'm excited to open it, and of course I'll do a video for you guys, but I'll show you tomorrow in the vlog. Okay, see you tomorrow. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Hopping on to update you on my reading journey for this week. Today's a very exciting day because my books tablet Go Color 7 came. I'm trying to like get the order of the names right because I hate when people like do a review and they don't know the name of what they got. And so I just, okay, it's the books tablet Go Color 7. Go Color 7. There we go. So I got that today in the mail, and guys, I was so excited. Here it is. I already did my unboxing. You would have already seen that video if you're watching this one now. I'm super impressed with it. It is really well made. It feels sturdy. The screen is gorge. I love it. It's a little bit brighter than the ColorSoft screen when you're reading, but it's still really nice. I'm getting used to it. You know, I'm always going to be a Kindle girl, so here's the difference. I'm always going to be a Kindle girl, but what I like about this is that you literally have Kobo, Kindle, Libby, all in one spot with one device. And believe it or not, I feel like I have one too many devices and I'm not able to like really enjoy all of them. So if I were to keep anything, I probably would keep the books and the Color Soft, honestly. Like, I don't think I would need anything else. I'm not getting rid of anything right now, but we'll see. I'm still playing with the books tablet because obviously I just got it, but I want to see if it is worth selling my Kobo Libra Color because I don't really touch that one, to be honest. The annotation part was cool, but now that the Scribe does that, I don't need it. And I can access the Kobo books through the Kobo app, so you don't actually need a Kobo e-reader, which I appreciate that they're not trying to like hone the market in on something, but also could be losing them money in the long run. So there's that. So super excited to continue playing around with it. There's not a lot of directions with it though. Like, it literally came with a quick start guide and that was it. And so I'm trying to figure out little things as I go, like the page turner buttons. I would call them page turner buttons. They were used for volume control. So I had to figure out where do I go to make them page turn buttons and how do I change the font and stuff like that. So just playing with it. I want to figure out how I can make the cover screen a book if I can. Okay, so last night I was on the struggle bus. I was telling you guys that I was reading that Megan Quinn book, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like a regular romance. And then I had started Sandwich, and I am loving this book. As I said yesterday, it's really, really good. It is spot on, I think, for the time I am in my life, and I'm just excited. So there's that. I also had 2 more books from NetGalley added to my shelf, which I'm so excited about. I have The Odds of Getting Even by Amanda Sellett and Happily Ever After by Jane Levering. And I'm excited to read both of those. So I'm just like in the zone, trying to like spend all of my time with my books and enjoying that. And so that's what I'm doing. Nothing else really changed in Sandwich. We're still, they're a week at this Cape Cod house. And we're just going through the days with them. We're on Wednesday. And, you know, I think the major theme in this is like the husband and wife arguing a lot. And like I said, it's not in a like they're going to get divorced kind of way, but it's definitely like they've been together for a while and everything is bothering them. So we'll see what happens. And she keeps having these sort of like, not full flashbacks, but definitely like reminiscing about the times that she had in her younger days. And as her kids tell her stuff that's happening in their life, she can remember when it's happening in hers. So really cute. And so I'm going to continue with that. I want to finish that tonight because why not? And then I also got book number 67 in Babysitter's Club, which I want to say is Dawn's Big Move. And so I borrowed that from the library, and I will read that as well. And then I also had another book called Perfect Chemistry. I saw it at Barnes today. I actually had to go get a calendar today because I hadn't had a calendar for the year yet. As you guys know, I'm very planner obsessed, but I did not have a house calendar, so I went and got them, which is just the best time to go because literally they're so cheap. I got my calendar for $6.18. And so as I was at Barnes, I saw a couple of books on the YA table. Perfect Chemistry was one of them, and it happened to be at Libby. And the other book I saw, I'm on hold at Libby. So I was like, this is what, look at me saving money. I said it was gonna be no spend January. It hasn't been perfect. There are things that you need. Obviously, the books I did pick up, but like I said, that was from Macari money when I sold items. It's like free money. So there's that. Also, okay, this is a purchase, but I did decide that I was going to pick up the Amanda Rach Lee planner. I had the undated planner and I was super excited about it, but I'm not that creative, and so it didn't make sense. I couldn't doodle. Let's just say I couldn't doodle. So I decided that I liked the dated planner that already kind of had like the guided drawing in it, and I think I'm going to switch to that for my reading journal. Now the thing that stinks is that the Hobonichi, let me see if I can pull it out without knocking the camera. It is so cute, and the paper quality is my jam. What, bud? You're okay. The paper quality is my jam, but this is just too many pages in here. I'm not going to fill these up, and it's not what this is made for. This will be great in the future if I want to use this as like my actual planner, but No, so I'm gonna end up having to reprint, well, I mean, December doesn't matter, but I'm gonna have to go and reduplicate all of this stuff. And so, oh, you can't even see it. I have to go back and reduplicate the things I did in January, which is not a big deal. It's a couple pictures to print off. So, yeah. Anyway, that is the update for Wednesday. It kind of feels like a Thursday today, but I am excited that tomorrow's Thursday. Let's get this week done. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hey guys, happy Friday. Hopping on to give you an update on the things that I've been reading. I did not give an update yesterday. Obviously, I didn't really forget. I laid in bed and I was like, not getting back up. But I did get a chance to finish some things, so that's exciting because I was in the middle of finishing things. First of all, I'm still using the books. I did post an unboxing video, so if you have not seen that, go check that out. I'm really liking it overall. I feel like it's very light. It is very thin. It feels sturdy. And yeah, I just like it. I'm playing around with the settings a bit more and just like trying to figure that part out. Because like I said, the instruction guide was like a paragraph and then you're kind of winging it. So anything I want to do, I've been just Googling it. Okay, so let me tell you what I finished. I'll show you what my home, sort of my home library looks like on Kindle. Tell me what you think about that color. Okay, so I finished the book Sandwich, and that was by Catherine, somebody, hold up. It was by Catherine Newman. I ended up giving that book a 3, and you guys, I was so amped on this book. I was super excited. I still generally liked the concept of it. This woman in her 50s goes to the summer house that she's been going to with her family for over 20 years, and as she's going along, her kids are adults now. I originally thought there were 3 kids, but it's 2 kids and the husband. And so as the kids are adults now, she is reminiscing on how they were kids and the things that they enjoyed while they're in the home. And then we're kind of just going through and trying to better understand basically menopause and the way she interacts with her husband after being married for 30 years. And it was all really, really good until maybe about 60% into the book. The main characters, her name was Rocky. I think Rachel was her actually, but they called her Rocky. Her parents came into town to visit, and I think that just kind of threw it off for me. Also, something happens to the oldest son's girlfriend that throws it off for me. So like everything tied solely for the purpose of Rocky reminiscing, it felt like, and it wasn't super cohesive. So I ended up giving that a 3. Then I ended up reading, I think I already told you guys I read book 60, Maid Marianne, excuse me, yes. Then I read Dawn's Big Move, and that's book 67. I ended up giving that 5 stars because if you know me and you've been on this channel, you know that I am not a Dawn fan. I don't like her in the stories. I just don't vibe with her character, and that's just me. If you are a Dawn, no hate, no shade, love you, but I don't like Dawn's character, so I was happy to see her head back to California to live with her dad and Jeff. So 5 stars for that one because goodbye to to Dawn. Okay, so now what comes next? I had to look on my tracker to see what book comes after book 67, but a couple of things I'm reading. First, I got a couple more e-arcs. And so I'm reading one right now called Happily Ever After by Jane Lovering. I believe this one comes out in May. And this one is about a woman set in London, and she has been sort of living out of her van, and because her parents have just always lived that way, they are like YouTubers who have a travel channel. Anyway, she finally finds a job at this home, and it's like a cleaning job, I would say, but it's live-in, and so that's the part that really keys her up because it's a live-in position. She'll have a job, and it's like a very fancy mansion. The taxi driver kind of warns her before she gets there, but she's like, no, I need this job. the woman of the house, Lady Tanith, I want to say, she is an oddball, to say the least. And then there's Hugo, who's probably going to be the love interest, and he is the son of Lady Tanith. And there's some weird stuff going on with the family, but I don't want to spoil that. But overall, there could be ghosts in the home that she's feeling and seeing. So we're trying to uncover that little piece. I also got a copy of The Rom Con by Devin Daniels. I had that on hold at the library. I'm really like committed to not buying books, although I'm about to tell you about a book I bought, because there's so many places you can find them. Like I said, I saw 2 books that I really liked at Barnes on Tuesday, and then I immediately found them at my library. So I think we're all kind of on that tip. Comment down below if you are as well. Like, how could we get the books for free is what I'm on. And then I ended up buying the book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I've been hearing about this theory for months, and when I originally heard about it, the book wasn't even out yet. But I'm excited to read this because one of the things in 2025 that I'm really excited to lean into is just being that carefree 40s woman who's like, I'm not bothered by the things that you do. If they don't impact me, it's not my problem. And so I'm already headed in that direction. It's been a good first few weeks of January in that mindset. And the Let Them theory is really all about letting them, right? And not having to control pieces that don't have anything to do with you. So I'm not really like a self-help person unless my therapist gives me a self-help book. But this one is really good, and I want to just like own that theory. What else is going on? Okay, so we have a long weekend. We're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday on Monday, and I don't work on Monday. I originally thought I had a dentist appointment on Monday, which I don't mind the dentist, but I was like, I don't want to waste my last day at the dentist, but it's actually on President's Day, so that's fine. And that's like my oldest birthday weekend, so we're always doing something that weekend anyway. So I get to have 3 full days off. I'm excited. It's going to be so cold in Minnesota this weekend that all we're going to want to do is sit inside. And so I'm so excited to read a ton. So as I mentioned with the books, I took it out of the box. It was at 88%. I had to do an upgrade, and it was at an 81%. And I've used it every day since... Oh, I got it on Wednesday. It's only Friday. Okay, I got it on Wednesday, and it's at 55%. So I think that's a pretty good battery life. I will say there are a couple of weird things that are happening, and I hate to be this person because you guys are going to start thinking like it's not the device, it's me, but I swear it's not. So 2 weird things have happened on this device. First, I was playing around with the settings and really just trying to get the type of text that I want. I have this right here, this bolded text. I don't like that. I'm going to change it. That's not my usual text. But I was kind of playing around with the contrast on the screen because the issue I was having was that okay, let me just say this. The words were clear, but like the title and how much longer you had in the book and percentage were very faded. Like you couldn't really read them. And so I changed the contrast, and that it fixed that. And I'd already changed these buttons from volume control to page turn. After I did the contrast, that's really the only thing I changed, my forward button has stopped working. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but it gives this frozen like screen with this blur in the background. Now, I can still turn the page and it's okay, but like, why is it doing that? So the first time it did it, I restarted the device and then it was fine. I clicked it for a few pages and then went back to doing that. So that was troubling. And then, so there's that. The other thing that happened that was so weird just right now is that I turned it off or put it to sleep so that I could do something else really quick, turned it back on to get to my book, and the pages were just moving and moving and moving and moving all the way back. So I was at about 21%. Yeah, it's not even where I was. I was like at 21 or 22% of this book. And it took me all the way back to 6%, like by itself. And I was like, I'm not touching anything. So I was like, well, maybe it's this button being clicked too many times. And it's just like you know, but it's not that. So two weird glitchy things. What I'm gonna do is double check that I have the latest firmware, maybe do another reset. I'm gonna put on the charger and see if that makes a difference, but just kind of tracking some of that. I still like it a lot, and if we can figure out any of these glitches, I will, like I said, sell the Kobo Libra color because I really don't use that one. And I can get Kobo on this. I haven't read a Kobo book yet on this because I am really getting into the NetGalley thing. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am. And on the topic of NetGalley, I am getting back into it because I have found that I was running out of books that were calling to me. I know that there's a million and thousand trillion books out there that I could be picking from, and I just wanted something different. And if they're free, all the better. If I can give some good insight on them, all the better. And so that's kind of the NetGalley grind right now. But yeah, that's pretty much happening today and yesterday. I'm going to be posting this on Monday, of course, so we have a whole weekend full of reading ahead of us. Let's see what we get done. Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to the last day of the vlog. So I missed, was it yesterday and Friday or Friday? I missed a couple days, but that's okay. It's been a great reading week for me. A couple of things to update on. Okay, so let's start with the books tablet. Okay, so this is the newest tablet that I picked up. Video is posted. Go check that out. Ask questions if you have them. I'm still exploring it. I have not filmed my review yet. A couple of things are jumping out at me though. Obviously this is a color screen, but it is a lot less vibrant than the Color Soft. And so that's a thing. And you know, the thing that drew me to this was that you can get like your Kobo app and your Kindle app all on the same device because it's Android based, but I'm still not really reaching for my Kobo books within this device. So I don't know. I was thinking I might just send it back, but every time I pick it up, I kind of like the way it feels. So I don't know. We are still in the test drive era. Okay, so since we last chatted, I was having issues with the buttons on this. It was not the books, it was me. So because it's Android based, each app, you can decide what you want your side buttons to be, and each app sort of reacts differently. So I did some Googling and saw a Reddit board that just talked about that if you use the Kindle app, you need to have your buttons set to volume. I don't know what the deal is, but once I did that, I stopped having issues with being able to turn pages within the book, so that's great. Okay, so a couple of things have happened. I've been reading Happily Ever After still. I'm about 53% in that. Actually, I'm looking at my library for the books, and I can see a clear difference in the screen. So hang on one second. Okay, now I will do a full review, but I think this is a really great example of what I mean about screen vibrancy. So when I'm looking at the Kindle Color Soft, here's what my home screen looks like. Specifically, I'm looking at the Perfect Piece, or Perfect Piece. You see how clear that picture is, right? Now, if you look on the books, I'm just going to bring it up. It's a little bit like grainy. So just seeing if you can see that difference. Anyway, I will do a full review. Okay, so I was reading Happily Ever After, which is an e-arc. I'm about 53%, and this one's pretty cute. It follows a woman who is in London. She needs a job. She finds a job at a home of this wealthy, very eccentric lady and her sons. And she's been tasked with finding the woman's, like, was it her ex's diaries that has information. Actually, it's her ex's father's diaries that has information in them. And so as she's in that home, she's kind of getting acquainted with the brothers. One is also eccentric. I'll leave it there. One has, what do they say? He kind of gave up his royalness or whatever. So she's getting to know them. So there's that. I also started The Family Experiment, which is on Kindle Unlimited. And this book is futuristic, and it is set around the idea of a TV show in which couples who've been trying to have babies come on the show, and they have an AI baby, and like every month equals like a certain amount of years or whatever. So you get a newborn, and then the next stage is toddler, and then at the end you can decide, if you win, you can decide to get the remaining pot money that all of the families have earned and the kid that you raised, or let the kid go back to the AI verse and you get all kinds of money. And it's an interactive type reality show where the viewers can vote on what the parents are doing and how well they're doing it. And so that's kind of, it's a little weird. I'm only 7% in. So that's that. And then I just started, I was actually using my Raspberry Kindle that hasn't been giving me any issues, the Paperwhite, the Rom-Con by Devin Daniels. I have this on loan from Libby. And I picked this up, I don't remember where I heard it from because I was on hold for this for a while. But basically I'm only about 6% in. But the premise is going to be, we have a modern woman trying to date. She's an editor at a female magazine, and her grandmother gives her some tips on how to get a man, but she feels like they're antiquated because the tips are from the 50s and she doesn't believe in them, but she's going to try to write an article about this. So I imagine it's sort of like she's going to have to use these tips to see if she catches a man. I imagine she does, or something. So there's that. So yesterday, okay, this whole vlog is going to be contradictory because I talked about, I think I said something about audibles. I think I said something about not buying books. I did all of those. I have been listening to, in the background, I haven't really talked about it much, but I've been listening to Is She Really Going Out With Him? I don't know how far along percentage-wise I am. I think I'm on chapter 12 or 13. I'm not really rushing that. It's just whenever I'm in the car by myself, I pop that in. It's super cute. It follows a woman who is separated. She's 37. She's separated. Her ex is kind of moving on, and she hasn't dated in a while, and so her and her colleague at work kind of have this love-hate relationship, mostly hate, and in order to keep her job and to keep herself relevant, she pitches this idea of her kids picking dates for her and her going on like 10 dates or something and ranking them and talking about them, and she's going to partner with the guy at work who is her nemesis. And so she's been on a couple dates that have been hilarious and disastrous, and she went on a business trip with her coworker. His name is Will, and he some sparks have been flying, but he kind of left early and we don't know why. That's kind of where I am. So that's been really good in the background. Like I said, not really rushing that one, just reading it as it comes. But then yesterday, out of the blue, we're just kind of hanging around the house, and I was like, let's go to Barnes. Like, let's just go to Barnes. I have cleared out all of my books, as you guys know, not all, but the majority of my books that were extra, and I'm focused on digital books, but there's a couple of books that I wanted in hand for specific reasons. So let's talk about those. First, this is a book that my youngest picked up. It's called Mouse and His Dog by Catherine Applegate and Jennifer Goldginko. I forgot what it was about. Something about three sort of pets on the run trying to find homes for each other or something. It's super cute. My youngest loves animals. She also loves graphic novels, but she's a very advanced reader, and so I'm trying to encourage her to get away from graphic novels. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but just I want her to work on reading things with a little bit more context in them so she can work on her comprehension. So she picked that up. Then I picked up 3 books that I had my eye on. So the first one I talked about earlier, and I did put it on hold at my library, but it's like too much of a wait, and I didn't want to wait, and it's so cute. This is Bingsu for 2. Look at that cover. I think it's adorable. It's by an author named Sujin Witherspoon, And it says, meet River Langston Lee. In the past 24 hours, he's dumped his girlfriend, walked out of his SATs, and quit his job at his parents' cafe in spectacularly disastrous fashion, even for him. Somehow he manages to talk his way into a gig at a failing Korean cafe, bingsu for two. It's his lucky break until he meets short, grumpy, and goth Sarang Cho. She's his new no BS coworker who's as determined to make River's life double hockey stick as she is to save her family's cafe. After River accidentally uploads a video of his chaotic coworkers to his popular fandom account, they strike viral fame. The kicker, their new fans ship River and Sarang big time. Ship, like put them in a relationship. In order to keep the internet's attention and the cafe's new paying customers, River and Sarang must pretend that the tension between them is definitely of the romantic variety, not the considering the best way to kill you and hide your body variety. But when Bingsu for Two's newfound success catches the attention of River's ex and his parents' cafe around the corner, he faces a choice. Keep letting others control his life or stand up for the place that's become home. And a green-haired girl who's not as heartless as he originally thought. So I think that's just a little cute YA romance. How long is this book? It's about 350 pages or so. So I'm excited to read that. I like to read this for February. I need to start thinking about my February books. I have not created a February, I haven't even thought about February TBR yet, honestly. I feel like it's still early in January, although it's not. And I was seeing people post February TBRs already. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are really on top of it. So this would be really cute for February. I'm thinking about doing a video. We were just talking about it downstairs. Like maybe my husband picks my February TBR or at least 1 or 2 books on it 'cause he's aching to be in a video. So maybe. Okay, the next book I picked, I also have a digital copy of it, but I really wanted to be able to annotate and come back and like fold pages. And that is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robinson. I heard about this a while ago. I think I just talked about in a prior clip where it's just the idea of letting people do what they need to do without us worrying about it. And it says, if you're struggling to achieve your goals or feel a little happier, the problem isn't you. The problem is the power you give to other people. In this book, you'll learn how 2 words, let them, can set you free. Free from the opinions, drama, and judgment of others. Free from the exhausting cycle of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. And this is so me. I'm always trying to manage and control all the things that I cannot. And when it doesn't go my way, not in a tantruming way, but you know, when it doesn't go the way I think it should go, I have a lot of stress related to it. So I'm excited to dig into this. But I wanted to have a physical copy to just like I said, write in it, annotate, come back to pages, and just mark this thing up. So almost just like a workbook. And then the last book that I got that I actually just finished, which is partly why I didn't come on yesterday because I was in the middle of reading this, is Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. I had talked about this a little bit, that I heard it from Gabby Reads. And this was so good. I just finished it. I gave it 5 stars. It's really like 4.75. But this is such a good book. So this book is set in modern times. And it is just a book about like the social commentary of where we are in the world. Basically, a man, he lives in New York with his wife and daughter. They're in an interracial relationship. He's a white male, and his mom keeps calling him, and she's they're from the South, and she keeps calling him about just how dangerous New York is, and like he needs to get out, and he needs to keep his family safe, and checking on him particularly, and the grandchild. And he tries to get in touch with her, and he can't get in touch with her or his dad, so he decides to go down to see them. And when he gets there, he's shocked by the state of his parents, who are completely sort of possessed or taken, just like mentally not there. And all of their energy has been focused on a news channel called Fax News, F-A-X. I wonder what that's off of. And so they are totally sucked into you know, the reports and the reporters, and they are convinced there's going to be a reawakening on December 20th, and it's like December 20th when he gets there, and so everything's kind of going crazy. Some really weird things happen in the home with his parents, and then on the other side of that, we get the story of, his name is Noah, his brother is Asher, and His brother is also very conservative and he hasn't gotten much hold of him either. And so we get from the point of view of Asher and his family. His wife is Devin and he has 2 sons, Caleb and Marcus. And we get about a month back into how they got into this sort of possessed mindset. And so they go like week by week by week on the different stages of sort of getting corrupted, I guess. Anyway, it is phenomenal. I don't think I've annotated a book as much in my life. There was just so many things that were so on par with what we see nowadays on both sides of the political leanings around, you know, only focusing on what we're hearing from one perspective, not listening to the whole story, doing things out of fear, trying to convert people. It's just a very specific way that we're handling things right now. And there's one quote that really summed it up. So at the end of the book it says, demons don't belong to political parties. They don't register to vote. They're not even affiliated with any one religion. The Catholics all glommed onto the idea of a demonic possession because of their own sense of guilt and ran with it, but that's just some Pazuzu style BS. And I was like, yeah, kind of. And so, yeah, it is pretty, so it's a horror book. It's in the horror thriller books section. And so you're getting some very weird things are happening. Yeah, I'm going to say that. So it's not to be taken lightly. But the social commentary is unmatched. So really, really enjoyed this book. So this one is done and I did pick this up yesterday. So I am, like I said, reading the rom-com right now. And it's already starting off pretty cute and light. And so I'm also waiting for Babysitter's Club book to come in. And so looking forward to that. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I'm off. I plan to read some more. I need to do some pre-recorded filming for you guys. So it's up and ready as I roll out throughout the week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is the end of this week's vlog. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment down below anything that struck you throughout the vlog, any books that you're reading. If you have questions about the devices I showed or the books that I'm reading, happy to answer. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see ya. Bye, guys.